cramping or I feel like I'm getting sick or something, you don't have to do that. It's just the convenience. Hi everyone, welcome back to Call Me Kinky. Today we're going to go over the 6 tips I have for you to help your PMS or to completely eliminate your PMS. This is based on my own experiences through education, trial and error, but I'm so excited to share it with you. So number 1, I switched to a primarily organic diet. What that means is, although I don't eat 100% organic, when I am at home, most of my meats and my produce are organic products. I shop at Aldi and Costco primarily to get these products inexpensively, and I have seen a remarkable difference in my nutrition level and how I feel by switching to an organic diet, and my PMS symptoms are much more minimal than they used to be, and I think that this plays a big role in it. What you eat definitely plays a role in how you feel, and for me, that has been the case. I also started eating a lot of green leafy vegetables, so things like spinach, arugula, kale. I started incorporating that into my diet more regularly, either through a salad or a green smoothie. But I had those green leafy vegetables on a regular basis in my diet weekly. So that helps a lot. It makes sure that I get the vitamin K and all the other vitamins that I need to completely balance my hormones and help my body function more effectively. The third thing I did when I moved back to the United States was I switched to organic pads and tampons. And y'all, I could not believe the remarkable difference I noticed during my first cycle when I switched to organic pads and tampons. Seriously, I had done a lot of research on this, but I wasn't necessarily convinced until I discovered it myself. It was remarkable the change that I noticed just from that first cycle when I switched to the organic brands. I will put the brands below that I have tried. I'm not telling you you have to try these, but one is at Target and one I order online. The name of that one is Sustain. I like both brands, so I'll put them below, but feel free to explore on your own because there's so many now organic products available that we didn't used to have on the market before. But I noticed an immediate and remarkable difference in the flow of my cycle as well as my cramping when I switched to organic pads. And the fourth thing was, it's easy, but it has a lot of impact on inflammation in the body. I incorporate turmeric and ginger into my diet on a consistent basis now. I love ginger anyway. I'm from a Caribbean family, so we get down with the ginger anyway. So I either have the fresh ginger from the ginger root that I juice and I incorporate it into my smoothies, or I add it to my tea, or if I need something that's more quick and easy on the go, I use ginger powder. You can find ginger powder online, of course, but you also can get it from one of your local Asian or Jamaican stores. They have the packets. They're not that expensive, but those are easy because you can just throw it into your tea, throw it into your water, and it's a great way to detoxify the body, but also reduce inflammation. Same thing with the turmeric. I buy the organic turmeric. The last one I got is from Target, the Simply brand. I have the organic one, and with the turmeric, I just add it to my tea. I literally make my regular tea, and I just put a few dashes of the turmeric in my tea, and it's so easy to add into the that I want to cover is vitamin D. So I learned that I had a vitamin D insufficiency when I went to the doctor in January of 2018. The irony of that though, y'all, was the fact that I was living at the time in Singapore. And if you know where Singapore is in the world, it's literally sitting on the equator. I was exposed to sun and high temperatures every single day. And despite living in a climate like that, I still was insufficient in vitamin D. I started to do research on this, and I learned through clinical research, not just reading blogs and YouTube videos. I mean real clinical literature, because I work in healthcare. I tend to read clinical trials a lot, and I really studied a lot of clinical trials that had done testing on women who have vitamin D, either insufficiency or deficiency. And there's a link between insufficiency or deficiency in vitamin D and fibroids, PMS, and hormonal problems. And I have all 3 of those things were happening to me at that time. I was having severe hormonal issues. I also was having severe PMS and cramping. And so I knew that a part of that may have been my vitamin D. So now I take a vitamin D3 supplement that I get at Trader Joe's, and I've seen, again, a remarkable difference in my PMS symptoms, my cramping, and the flow of my cycle. I'm telling you guys, do your research. I also want to caveat and say before I go to the last tip that although I had all these hormonal issues, every hormonal test I took came back normal. So that's why sometimes, even when you are trying to figure out what is wrong with you, sometimes doctors don't know everything. Sometimes tests don't reflect what's really happening within your body. So a lot of the times you have to take the time to really understand for yourself what's going on, understand your symptoms, and research on your own and figure out what may work for you. Although I think my doctors tried to assist me, I think my Asian doctor was better than all the rest. But anyway, the doctors did try to assist me, but they tried to also convince me that I didn't have any hormonal issues when I knew that I did. And in fact, if you have fibroids, you have a hormonal problem. You cannot have fibroids without having a hormonal problem. That is a fact. But the medical community will not tell you that, nor do they make that correlation unless they're very astute in the study of hormonal issues and fibroids. So I just want to put that out there, that even if your tests come back normal, if you're having certain symptoms, you may in fact have a hormonal deficiency or imbalance that needs to be corrected, and it can be corrected through diet. All right. The sixth thing I want to share with you is that I reduced my carbs and my sugars, and that is hard. I mentioned I'm from a Caribbean family, a traditional African American family as well. So I love bread. I love rice. Okay. But I really had to work on reducing white carbs. White carbs turn into sugar, and unless you're burning that off, like through your day-to-day activities, through physical activity, you don't need that abundance of white carbs, aka sugar, in your body. So I reduced the number of carbs I was taking in, and I also reduced my sugar intake. I now use xylitol more often than not if I want to sweeten my tea or sweeten my coffee. And I still have traditional sugar, like I still have cupcakes, ice cream, and stuff like that, but in moderation for sure. And I don't overindulge in those things, because there is a significant link between fibroids and sugars and carbs, all right? And sugar can cause inflammation in the body. And if you already are having PMS, you don't want to put your body in a state of inflammation that will just exacerbate your existing PMS symptoms, all right? So this video was really quick. I want to recap on the 6 tips, and then I'm going to sign out. Number 1, go organic as much as possible. You can do it in an affordable way, but try to go organic, especially with your meat, okay? The second, you want to incorporate green leafy vegetables into your diet, either through steaming them with your dinner or lunch, having kale or spinach salads, and or juicing it, and or making a smoothie. So there's multiple ways you can incorporate it into your diet, but you need the green leafy vegetables. There are so many benefits to eating that way. The third thing is switch to organic pads and tampons. It works. I'm telling you, it works. Incorporate turmeric and ginger to reduce inflammation in the body and to increase your level of detoxification. It's also really critical. If you have a vitamin D deficiency or insufficiency, which can be tested with your doctor, it's a simple blood test that can be done. If the tests come back and you are insufficient or deficient, make sure you ask your doctor how many vitamin D, how many grams should you be getting per day based on your deficiency or insufficiency, and make sure you take that on a daily basis in the morning before you get your day started. And then 6, you want to reduce your carbs and your sugars, okay? So I've shared with you the 6 tips that have worked for me. These that have all personally worked for me. I went from having very severe cramps to none at all, you guys. I don't have PMS at all, and I thank God for that. I have literally cured myself through making minor changes in the way that I eat and using organic pads and tampons, and then addressing my vitamin D insufficiency. So I hope that this video has helped you. I hope it has empowered you through education. I will leave some links below so that you could do your own research, or at least get started on trying to figure out what's going on with you. If you are a woman out there, or even a guy out there, and you know a woman who has experienced any of the things that I mentioned, or is struggling trying to figure out how to alleviate PMS, share this video, leave comments, let's share tips with one another. And I appreciate you watching. Until next time, peace, love, and prosperity. Bye.